A courtroom, a wife in white, a child on the way, a husband sitting across from her, emotionless, cold as steel. She believed her scheme was flawless, that the child she carried would be her ultimate bargaining chip, that she could walk away with it all, his assets, his future. But she miscalculated. She thought he would break. That love had softened him. That fatherhood would bind him. She was wrong. This isn't just a story of divorce. It's a story of deception, retaliation, and the calculated downfall of a woman who mistook devotion for weakness. When the truth surfaced, it wasn't just the end of a marriage. It was the beginning of war. And in war, there are no second chances. So ask yourself, what would you do if the one person you trusted the most tried to destroy you? Before we get deeper, drop your location in the comments. And if this story hits home, hit that subscribe button. Because tomorrow's chapter, it's something you won't want to miss. I sat in that courtroom and stared at her rounded belly, and I felt nothing, no anger, no sorrow, just clarity, like hearing the final click of a lock you've waited years to open. She wore white naturally. Subtlety was never her strong suit. Her hands rested gently on her stomach, a picture of maternal grace. Her eyes, though, darted toward the judge, sharp, deliberate, like she was moments away from announcing checkmate. The tension in the room was electric, the kind that comes before a lightning strike, the kind that tightens your chest and raises every hair on your skin. She believed this child was her ultimate weapon, an emotional hand grenade she could toss into the courtroom and walk out with half of everything. My company, my real estate, my future. She was right about the explosion, just wrong about the survivor. We first crossed paths 7 years ago, at a business mixer downtown. I was in the trenches, grinding through 18-hour days, building a dream with caffeine and grit. She was all polish, branding herself like a luxury product, carefully composed, designed to attract admiration. Together, we looked unstoppable, driven, dynamic, respected. At least, that's how it seemed. While I built from sweat and sacrifice, she built with flattery and finesse. She told me she admired my ambition, my determination, told me she loved me. But what she truly loved was the lifestyle I could offer, the stability, the recognition, the image. The first fracture in our marriage was almost invisible, a message she dismissed too quickly, an unfamiliar name in casual conversation, a sudden weekend away with friends I'd never met. Then came the late nights, the vague explanations, the locations that didn't match her stories. I tried to believe it was pressure, that love meant trust, that I was overthinking. I wasn't blind. I just didn't want to see. But eventually I started paying attention, quietly, closely, and what I uncovered shattered me. She was pregnant, but the child wasn't mine. I found out 3 weeks before the hearing, a casual comment from a mutual friend who assumed I already knew. My heart sank. She hadn't told me, because she was saving it. A last-minute courtroom stunt, an emotional landmine, a ploy for sympathy, support, and a payout. So I began my own investigation. There was another man, younger, flashy, one of her so-called brand collaborators. The images I uncovered painted a damning picture. His hands on her waist, her lips on his, moments that should have belonged to us, stolen in hotel lobbies and dim-lit lounges. I traced the dates, cross-referenced messages, receipts, even a sonogram she foolishly uploaded to our shared cloud account. It was clumsy, rushed, a trail of betrayal she never thought I'd follow. But I did, and this time I wasn't a fool. I gathered my evidence in silence, carefully, deliberately, like assembling a puzzle only I knew existed. Then I made the call that would shift the entire course of the battle. I contacted my attorney. That was the moment everything changed. No more heartache. No more pretending there was something left to save. This wasn't about fixing what was broken anymore. This was about taking control. Love had left the building. This was war now. And in war, feelings get you killed. Tactics win. Weeks before the hearing, I rerouted our finances, quietly shifted assets into protected trusts, locked down what mattered. She assumed the slow pace was just legal red tape, that I was distracted, scrambling, falling behind. She still believed she had the upper hand. What she didn't realize, I wasn't playing her game. I was playing the board, and I owned every piece. The hearing landed on a Thursday, beneath overcast skies that felt like a reflection of the storm about to hit. She made her entrance with theatrical flair, showing up late as if the courtroom were her personal runway. Her attorney wore a smug grin. Her eyes sparkled, hungry for victory. We hadn't spoken in weeks. I'd made sure of that. I let the silence do the work, let her mind wander through worst-case scenarios. Was I broken? Desperate? About to beg? I gave her a smile. A calm, unreadable smile. That was the first crack in her confidence. The judge called the room to order. Her lawyer stood and began his carefully rehearsed performance. Equal parts tragedy and manipulation. He painted her as a supportive wife, the co-architect of our success. A pregnant woman abandoned in her most vulnerable hour. The courtroom was still. The performance was working. Then came the moment everything changed. The judge adjusted his glasses and asked, evenly, "Mr. Hale, are you the biological father of this child?" I looked at her and let the silence sit there, long enough for discomfort to start growing in her expression. "No, Your Honor," I finally said, "I am not." Her face twitched, a flicker of a smile that quickly collapsed into confusion, then panic. "I have medical documents confirming it," I added. My voice didn't waver. "And significant proof that my wife has been involved in an extramarital relationship for at least 6 months. I handed over the folder. Everything was indexed. Photographs, text transcripts, dates, receipts. Her attorney reached out to take it, hands unsteady. She tried to speak, open her mouth, close it again. The words weren't coming. Not fast enough. The judge flipped through each page methodically. I watched her unravel with every turn, watched her hand instinctively rest on her stomach, as if even the baby inside her could feel the shift in momentum. Then the judge's tone changed, more pointed now. "Mrs. Hale," he said, "are you declaring this child to be Mr. Hale's legal responsibility?" Her attorney fumbled. She looked at me wide-eyed, desperate now, begging without words. I leaned forward slightly, not angry, not cruel, just final. "You tried to play me," I said softly, "but you forgot. I'm not a gambler. I'm a builder." The ruling was delivered with precision. The prenup, once in danger due to arguments about shared success, held strong under the weight of her deception. No spousal support. Minimal division of assets. Custody wasn't even a point of discussion. She came in thinking the pregnancy would be her ticket to wealth. She walked out with nothing but a child and the sound of her own plan collapsing behind her. For months have passed. She still reaches out, sometimes angry, sometimes pretending to be remorseful. The man she risked everything for, he vanished the moment the money didn't materialize. I hear whispers that she's struggling, emotionally, financially. I don't celebrate her downfall, but I don't grieve it either. She thought love made me soft. That betrayal would destroy me. But betrayal doesn't weaken. It carves you into something sharper. She struck the match. I burned the house down. Only I had built a fireproof room for myself, and made damn sure she couldn't get in. Revenge is a craft. And mine? Flawless. No loose threads. No mercy. Just closure. If that hit home, you got 2 more gripping stories waiting on your screen. Don't miss them. Click now and dive deeper.